Really the key to everything is going to be you have to have goals. So, like, my personal goal is to get 4% better. I spend 15% of my day to get 4% better. Find what you want to do, where you want to go, and scale yourself up just bit by bit. Don't try to take, okay, I'm going to go from making nothing to $20,000 a week overnight, and then you're bummed out at the end of the week because you didn't do it. Scale yourself up, figure out where you are, where you're happiest, and then find your discipline and how what works for you. Essentially, once you find your inner peace and your confidence level, it's the endless possibilities with FFL excites me so much.
Hello, everybody. Grady Polson here, Family First Live America. So excited to have our special guest trainer on today, Miss Candi Hooder. She is coming to us live from
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is why you sell leads to where you do, because it's probably more alluring to possibly go visit your clients at some point. But we'll cover where you sell leads at right now in a second. But Candi's been with us for just a few months and already tearing up the leaderboards. It has been a tremendous run so far, and exciting to see the numbers you put up as the year progresses. But just for some simple clarity, she's protected 17 families this week and 50 in the last 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Yes.
So just normal. So okay, we're gonna count them. C's, the C's are off. You guys killed it beyond
You're
appreciation.
killing it.
Yes. Wherever does the most C's gets free leads, and Candi did a great job welcoming. I appreciate whoever keeps doing it, but then we called time and we'll move on from there. So good job to you all. So we'll count them up and we'll go from there. So all right, back to you, Candi. How are you doing today? Excited to have you on. I'd love it if you just share with us for a little bit about you, about your background, how you found us here at FFL, and we'll jump into some fun training today on how you do what you do.
Well, I found FFL. I was actually looking at you guys for a while, but at first I thought it was too good to be true. So I was like, there's no way something's going on over there that, yeah, I like veered away from it. I was actually scared. So I was with my practice company and things went horribly wrong over there. So I did finally I'm going to make the jump. I'm going to get into FFL. I filled out a form online, which got me in contact with Michelle Lockhart. And once I talked to her, it just made sense. I was like, you know what? And it was tough because they held all of my companies, including Americo, captive over there. So I just got Americo last month.
Oh
So
wow.
it was pretty tough. Yeah. So 3/4 of the companies were over at the other company, and I was stuck with final expense for my first 6 months. So I'm really excited to have it fully kicked off. I got America back. I got all my companies. I'm in full gear now.
That's awesome. And I mean, this is we'll do this tactfully, but you said the words "it went horribly wrong," and I don't think. I mean, you now on the other side with us can see how. I mean, humbly, how great of a place this kind of is from training support, whatever. But what is horribly wrong at another place without saying names, just so we can have the new agents, because a lot of people come here and we're their first experience with insurance and they're like,
Yeah.
contracting takes too long. And it's like, listen, dude, you're right. A lot of companies still use notaries and paper apps. So just hold on. I know we've got bugs we're working out and we'll continue to work them out. But I don't think enough
Yeah.
people know what the rest of the industry is like. And if you could just maybe shine some light on that.
The biggest thing, and I mean, obviously compensation matters, but it was training for me. So there was zero training at my other company. So they handed us a sheet of paper and said, touch on these points and sell insurance. I'm like, what? What do I actually say? What do I do? I was lost. And my compensation was so low. So it took me a while to get ramped up. And I did eventually, but it still was nothing like this. And the free training is just phenomenal. To me, that blows my mind because we were paying $400, $500, $600 for other events, to go to. Yeah. Yeah. So just to train to learn anything about the business, I was no, that blows my mind you guys actually offer that for free. That was phenomenal. So,
That's
and I learned so much at convention. I loved convention. It was the first time I ever experienced something to that extent. So,
yeah, me too. I've never been in a baseball stadium with people speaking at me about the, it's like my love language was coming from stage. It was just people talking about life insurance and how to sell more of it. I'm like, this is like, is this what heaven is? Is Miami's
yep,
heaven? That's
yeah,
wonderful. So awesome. So okay, training. I mean, that's very true. I mean, I remember my first convention I went to pre FFL, pre life. I dabbled in insurance like 5 years before I found FFL, and then went off and did something else. But it cost me like $300 to go to the training, and then they required you to buy a book to track your dials, which was $39 for white paper, and then they
right.
required you to buy $179 like tape course. And I was like, I don't even have a tape set. Like, how am I going to play this tape? It was like a old
Right.
cassette tape, and that was like what they required you to do. And then you come here and everything's free. And it's like we just want
Right.
you to want you to want it, and we don't want to have to manipulate and trick you that because you spent this money you want it to. We want you to just want to do it on your own, and that's really how you create leadership and great minds of people as they commit to themselves. They don't commit to some ancillary thing that they think is more powerful than themselves. So
Yeah.
I love that you shared that. So give us some insight. Let's just jump into some leads. You're not putting up these numbers, door knocking, strangers, and just, I mean, you could be getting a lot of referrals. I don't know, but what's your lead mix? What's your lead flow? And what did you start with? What have you ascended to? Just so we can kind of get some insight on how to put up the numbers that Candy's putting up.
I started with final expense. I mean, to get used to the business, I'm really glad I did do that because over the phone, when I was with my previous company, I was in home. So now whenever I came to FFO, I went straight to telesales. Kind of had to. I didn't have a vehicle exactly. So I had to figure this out. And mortgage protection is a little scary on the phone. You're trying to get two people on the phone, book appointments, all this other stuff. So I started with final expense and then I worked my way up to doing mortgage protection. I did internet leads. Now I work just about anything in the CRM. I do a mixture, whatever I can find. I work about 22 different states now.
Wow.
So yeah, I just focus on buying new states and I'm like, oh, fresh area, buy new leads, buy a whole new batch. I buy between 80 to 100 a day. I'm at about 2 to 3 grand, maybe a little more in leads as far as lead spend
A
to be
week?
able to put up those kind of numbers a week. Yes.
Are you Work Spots member?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Makes no sense
Of
not to.
course.
Like
Of
it
course.
just because no sense not to. Okay, so you said 2 to 3 a week
Yeah. 2 to 3 a week in
allows you to
retainer.
protect approximately about 17 families based on your time in the business and skill set that you've ascended to. As we
Yeah.
no guarantees, whatever you do is up to you at the level of skill set you choose to develop, but this is what Candy's able to accomplish. So what you said serial needs, is there a type? Like what are the people always go, what's this or what's that? I mean, there's probably three of your favorites that you go when you go to your county, or you go, oh,
Yeah.
there's those. I'm gonna get those first. What are your three favorites? Just so new agents can copy you.
I've been liking the beneficiary instance recently. Those are more of a recent thing though. So for a while I was working the 1 month's mortgage protection and final expense mailers. So now the mortgage protection kind of dried up a little bit in the CRM, but I buy them whenever they're there. So the 1 months are my sweet spot with internets though. I found I really like the 1 months.
How
I
much
don't
are
know.
those?
It's just the 1 month in the internet 1 month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much are they?
I think they're $3.
So you bought 100 this morning. Simple
Yeah,
math would say that costs
300 bucks.
$300. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yep.
crazy. It's crazy to
Yeah.
get the contacts of 300 people interested in something that I sell for $300. That's just
Right.
that's that's very cool. So what is, then let's talk about maybe any software you use, or what's your dialing plan that how do you now what's your how do you go into go mode?
I use phone burner.
Okay.
I have local numbers for each area. So I load them up every morning. I dial them in the morning and I dial them in the evening. So I try to get between 80 to 100. I'll dial in the morning, dial in the evening. And then if I don't hit my goal, I hit Hawaii hard in the evening, so I do work really long hours.
Hawaii,
So,
which
yep,
is Hawaii's. This is just my opinion. Hawaii seems a little bit nicer than Pittsburgh. Maybe you want to go
they
do a
are.
travel trip and go out to
They
Hawaii,
are.
rent
They
some
are real.
interesting homes.
Yep. I would love to do a travel trip. That's actually on my list to do, so that's coming soon.
That's cool. Okay,
Yep.
so dialing pattern, is it one? Is it three? Do you put 20 into phone burner? Do you put all 100? Give us some like kind of what how do you set up phone burner?
Yeah, I put all 100 in there. I triple dial, in the morning, and then I triple dial in the evening. Now, it doesn't always work out that way in hopes that it doesn't because you wanna be presenting all day. I have one call to close,
Your
so
one
I'm
call
trying to get a hold
close.
of people. Yeah, so I'm trying to get a hold of people. Sometimes it might take me 2 days to get through those, but that's a good thing. Like, my activity goal is I wanna present 8 to 10 times in a day. So if I'm presenting that many times, I'm probably not getting through all those leads.
That's incredible.
So,
Off 300 leads,
yep.
we'll go back in the field. That's incredible. Okay, so now you let's I'd love if you would share with us what you say from click to click, how you set it up, just kind of take over and just something where we can go, okay, that's how that seems simple, or that's I don't do that. Like people just are I'm looking for what's the how do you do it?
Okay, so ring ring.
Hello?
Hey, Grady, this is
Hey,
Candy. I'm just getting back to you on a call that I have here in my office from you. This would have been regarding the letter you received whenever you called in about the loan. This would have been about the mortgage protection. So I'm just the underwriter assigned to get this information out to you. I know it's important. Now, I do want to verify the property address, 767 Success Lane. Is that accurate?
that's correct.
Okay,
Who is this
perfect.
again?
So my name's Candy. I'm an underwriter for the state here, and I'm just calling to get some mortgage protection information out to you that you had requested.
I did request that. When did I request that?
So this would have been about a month ago. So we are a little backed up here at the office. I apologize for that.
Okay.
But we are trying to make sure that you get this information. It is important. So I did process this for you, and I'm doing everything right over the phone. So if you want to do me a quick favor, can you grab a pen and paper? I'll go over this information with you.
Okay.
Do you get a pen and paper?
Do you want me? China,
Yeah.
I need a pen. This is she throw me a pen. It's got serious.
Sorry, I'm nervous,
No,
guys. I
you
just
don't need to
got
be
super
nervous.
flush and nervous.
Drop some C's
No,
again in the
so
comments below to show Candy some love to ease her nerves. All right, I got a
yeah.
pen and paper. I'm ready to go. I am the student today. Give
All
me.
right. So
There
Grady,
you
do you
go.
receive
Appreciate you
text
guys.
messages on this line?
I accept text messages. Yes, I do get text messages on this line.
Okay, so I'm going to send you over my credentials. There's a government link on there. You can choose to look up my NPN. So my name's Candy Hooder, and I want you to write that down. CandiHooder.
Okay.
And then my NPN's 200-75713.
NPN. What's NPN mean?
National producer number. Now,
Oh,
with that number, you can go right to the Department of Insurance website. You plug in those numbers, and all my information pops up. I
okay.
actually just text you over the government link.
Okay.
Now,
Thank
are
you.
you single, married, widowed, divorced there, Grady?
I'm married.
You're married. Okay. Is she also available?
She's cooking in the kitchen, but or she's yeah. But if we need her for a question, I'm sure I can get it, or I might know the answer.
I just don't like to go over things and leave somebody out. I want her to understand exactly what this is and exactly how it works. So,
Okay. I'll go in there and
it,
put you on speakerphone then.
okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so I do have your loan amount here is 200,000. Is that still accurate?
About 190 right now.
Okay, so you paid some off. Nice. And do you know what your interest rate was with that?
5%.
Okay, perfect. So you got in a little late there, huh? It went
Yeah,
up a
new
little
house.
bit.
Just bought the house. Yeah, got me.
Okay. So what now was that a 30-year note? 20-year note?
Yep, 30-year.
Okay. And what they appraise your home at there, Grady?
About 240.
Okay. Okay. So what's your mortgage payment currently?
1,300 a month.
Okay, so are you guys planning to pay that off early at all? What's your plans with that?
If we can, right now we're just trying to get settled in the house.
Yeah, okay. I completely understand all that. So now do you guys have a plan on who would get the house if you both were to pass away?
Probably my sister
Your sister? Okay.
or her sister. One of the,
Um,
they fight for it, but one of our
okay.
sisters. They get the
Okay.
kids, so I don't know. They maybe won't fight for it.
Yeah, they should get the house if they get the kids, right?
Yeah.
So, do you guys have a current backup plan for that? Whether it was death, illness, disability to be able to cover the home in any case if anything would happen?
No, not right now.
Okay. Okay. So now between both you guys, are you guys splitting the bills half and half or is it more heavy on one person?
About half and half.
Okay. So how much income is Mary losing if you were to pass away, Grady?
About 4,000 a month.
Okay. And what about with Mary? Is she also right around
She
there? You
makes
said
about
about half and half.
2,000. 2,000 right
Okay.
now.
Okay. So I mean, what does that look like for your family right now? If one of you were to pass away, I mean, would she be able to handle the home,
No,
all
she
the
could.
bills?
No.
Okay. Okay. So how long before things become tight on you guys or you start having to dip into your retirement funds?
Pretty soon. We have some savings, but not a ton. We just put it down on
Okay.
the house, so we got just a little bit left.
Okay. So it sounds like to me you guys were looking into mortgage protection because you want to make sure that no matter what, Mary's able to stay in the home and vice versa. Is that kind of accurate there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So the way this works is really simple, Grady. So I'm a broker with all the A-rated carriers here for the state. My job is just to pull up all the options that you guys may qualify for. Now it is based off age and health. So all I'm going to do is ask some medical questions, and that helps me figure out which company will approve you and which companies will decline you. Okay.
Okay.
And once we pull up some options, we'll take a look. We'll see which company is going to be offering you the best rate, and then at that point, what we'll do is we'll submit a request for coverage to see if we can get you approved because this isn't something you can just buy. You do have to get approved for it first. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, perfect. So then I go into medications. I find the need. I do life for the need. So loans, I don't know if you guys know what life is. So loans, income replacement, final expenses, and then education. And then I don't do options. So I do recommendation. I tell them based on your situation, this is my recommendation. And then I ask them, is that affordable for you or do we still need to tweak this? So that's kind of how I go about it. My closing question is literally just, does that fit the budget or do we still need to be designing this a little bit? So then what I do is I tell them I'm going to check on approval. Um, And then I actually tell them after I so this and this is exactly how I say it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to check on approval because it doesn't make sense to think about something we're not even sure you can get yet, right? So, by the way, I do want you guys to think about this. You will have by law 30 days to overlook your terms and conditions to figure out if you want to increase, decrease, or leave it alone. Now, approval is going to take about 3 days to a week. So essentially, you're going to have about 37 days to think about something like this. Is that enough time to figure some things out? Like what,
Uh,
so
Give me.
yeah, I mean, you got 37 days, right?
Yeah.
So can you spell your first and last name for me? And I go right into the application.
Okay. So
So I,
they're gonna agree. Oh yeah, you keep going if you're going.
no, I try to address the elephants in the room before they even come up. Like, hey, I want you to think about it. Any objection that might come up, I tell them, hey, you can. You're not stuck to this today. You're not committed to this today. So it kind of like lowers sales pressure.
What is your do you find a lot of people activating the 30-day, we thought about it, we don't want it?
No, no, not at all.
That's great. That's good. I mean, in a lot of sales, we want to be certain, right? We want to leave the home with or the phone with direction and clarity. And I think that what we've come to be in a position of from a virtual standpoint or a telesales standpoint is that you cannot be as hard closer as because they can just hang up on you. Like you can be tough at the kitchen table where the husband's going, I don't really care about her, and she's sitting there crying, and then you call him out as a jerk of a man, and why would you want to leave your wife no money? And then it's like, all right, we'll leave her some money, and then you fill out an application. But in a phone situation, it's like we need to just be
Yeah,
as like kid gloves as possible because and that really puts I mean that in a lot of traditional selling, giving saying that statement will open the door for chargebacks. But what we're seeing apparently, and if it's working for you, is that people find peace in that, and they're not held on to it as a get out of jail free card. They're held on to it as
right.
I can trust this person because they're telling me everything.
Well, I also add in, and I kind of forgot to say this, like I add in, so once you get your policy in the mail, we're going to go over that together to make sure that you fully understand the policy and it's exactly what you're expecting. So, and then I follow up on them in about a week or two. Hey, did you get your policy? Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read it. Can you go grab it? We're going to go over that real quick.
Cool.
So at that point, like, is it exactly what you wanted? Yes, it was. Okay, awesome. You have any more questions? Just let me know. So I think that additional step right there kind of helps with that, just letting them know I'm going to be here. I didn't just sell you something and leave. I didn't just bounce out on you. Right. So, but I do want them to know about the 30-day free look because then I feel like they're like, oh, I just made this decision on the spot and I'm stuck is going to cause more chargebacks than, okay, she was transparent with me. She told me my options. She told me I can, and it lowers sales pressure. Right. But just letting them know I'm here for any questions and making sure, you're there for them and you let them know you're there for the family as well. Like, hey, I want your beneficiaries all to have my number. So if anything was to happen, they can give me a call. I'll call the insurance company. Like, I'm your agent for life, and emphasizing on that.
Yeah, this is good stuff, guys. This is good. This is what this is what you tuned in for right here. Is and your tone is so straightforward. Like there is, I'm like this all day. I'm a little more upbendy. Granted, when I'm selling, it's like I'm in control. I'm the doctor. You're the patient. This is what's happening, and people, especially clients, find comfort in your clarity and strength. When you get uppity or you get an attitude or you create some sort of undue like pressure inside of any sort of sales environment, clients pull back. They reckon. I mean, we've all got, we're all animals we all, are, I mean, we can say we derive from Jesus, we derive from cavemen, what isn't that for that? But we've all evolved, right? And so we have
Right.
this sense into us to sense fear, to sense worry, to sense um, a bad environment. And when you hold your tone, right, just strong, and that's what's fun about dialing a lot of times is clients will say stuff and you come right back over the top and they listen. I just need to get this information out to you. My job is just to bring the packet out to you. Well, who's this again? My job is just to bring the packet out to you. I've got 6:15 or 6:45 tomorrow. Which works better for you, Mary? 6:45 is fine. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Right? When you hold that strength of tone,
Yeah.
they go, okay, this person is just they're serious, and that's what that's the number one thing I picked up from you is you were just clean. So is that something you worked on? Is that just something that comes naturally?
Oh, no, no, no. I had to work on that. Definitely. I practice a lot. So when I first started telesales, I had to force myself because I mean, I was not disciplined at all whatsoever. So I focused a lot on personal development. I focused a lot on, I made myself sit for 2 weeks straight, like had my husband bring me dinner and everything. I didn't move because I had to teach myself discipline. I was getting up and playing with the dog, playing with the bird, this, that, and the other. Like, so I had to teach myself discipline to sit and really be able to dial these people and be able to get to them. But then once I did, my body was conditioned to it. Now I have a structured schedule. I do structure in, different things like meditation. So I meditate 3 times a day because if not, things can hit you pretty hard, right? You're going through a lot of rejection. You're going through a lot. You got to clean that out. You got to reset. So, I having a structured schedule actually did wonders for me because at first I was just kind of whatever, I'll call all day. And I didn't have any structure to it. So now it's definitely coming along, getting a flow to it. So,
Will you share your schedule?
yeah, of course. So I typically get up about 5 o'clock. Um, so I meditate, I do personal development, I do a gratitude walk, is what I call it. So I go walking outside with the dog and share what I'm grateful for to God and pray. And then I spend an hour reading and personal development. So I had to find my inner peace. Because, guys, I mean, the whole key to this is confidence, right? So you have to find your inner peace. If you don't have your inner peace, you're not going to find your confidence level. And that's where you're really going to catapult with this business is having your self confidence. So find your inner peace with everything. I came from a point where I was depressed. My family with abandonment, I had domestic violence going on. I had to seriously pull myself out of some junk to get myself to this point. But you know what? I did it, and it was really just taking an hour a day plus well, not so much an hour a day. I could say it's about 3 hours, so but it's throughout the day that I do an hour in the morning. Then I'll dial from 8 to about 11, and then I take a break. I meditate again at like 11:30. Then I do my requirements, emails, text messages. So I try to schedule in every little thing so that I'm not, you want to guard your dial time, right? You don't want to be, oh, I got to email over here, I got to text over here. So dial in the morning, then you schedule your breaks for your emails, and then you go back in, you dial in the evening, and then I meditate again at night. So I'm getting those breaks, but I'm not taking them sporadically, right? So I make sure I get my dial time and I literally put my phone on do not disturb while I'm dialing. Like that's it. No, nothing's getting to me anymore. Like cuz I was so up and down with my production when I was doing that. And I was finding, oh, this needs a requirement. This needs this. Schedule that stuff in. It could wait an hour. So I found a lot of success with a structured schedule. The personal development part, like I absolutely love Jose Silva. That was a big thing for me. He's a Mexican meditation teacher, essentially, and he taught his kids how to be psychics. So it was pretty interesting to me to like start reading it and start trying it. And I'll be honest, that changed my whole business was starting the whole meditation and everything. So I was able to finally calm myself down and be at peace and fully focus on the client. And I wasn't scatterbrained. So that's what changed everything around for me.
That's tremendous. I mean, and people are watching and they're going, that sounds hard, or she's more disciplined. She is more disciplined than you. She's more disciplined than me. But that's what makes her successful. And like this is a blueprint. She gave you the blueprint of what she does and what's helped her and her background, what she's come from. And all you've got to do is make a choice to follow, and not a choice to let the other things and the scapegoats of your mind lead you down some other place that doesn't allow you to become more disciplined. There's no one successful in anything that is not disciplined and persistent at what they're trying to accomplish. And you've just become crystal clear on what you do. And so, what it's apparent how you have 8+ presentations a day, because you make the deliberate intention that I'm not going to allow life to distract me. This is what I do. This is my job. This is my career. This is my business. I'm an entrepreneur. I own this. I own my failures, and I own my successes. I own my wins and I own my losses. I own my sales and I own my no sales. And
Yeah.
that's where elite people live, Candy. And it's great to hear you just validating what works, which is just focus and work really hard.
Yep.
Any final advice you have for us today? Because this has been such a good call.
So find your flow and find yourself. So it doesn't have to be meditation. Really the key to everything is going to be you have to have goals. So like my personal goal is to get 4% better. I spend 15% of my day to get 4% better. Find what you want to do, where you want to go, and scale yourself up just bit by bit. Don't try to take, okay, I'm going to go from making nothing to $20,000 a week overnight, and then you're bummed out at the end of the week because you didn't do it. Scale yourself up, figure out where you are, where you're happiest, and then find your discipline and how what works for you. Essentially, once you find your inner peace and your confidence level, it's the endless possibilities with FFL excites me so much. It's like it's unreal because all you have to do is all numbers. I mean, once you figure out your goal, find a big, hairy, bodacious goal, guys. Seriously, one that scares the crap out of you. And then work the numbers backwards. Work towards it.
BHAGs. Guy Rob
Yep.
Sperry used to talk about BHAGs.
Yep.
There you go. You know Rob?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, very yeah, I know Rob. Very cool. Candi, this was wonderful. We got the C's flying in the chat again, showing you some love. And just appreciate you. I'm so excited to watch you continue to ascend. And are you going for Hall of Fame?
Oh, of course.
Of
Of
course.
course. Of course.
Even asking such a foolish question, Grady.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you in that red jacket in Miami, and as we continue to progress with this business. It's been my pleasure, and I'm beyond excited for you and everything that's to come. So,
Thank
everyone
you,
out there,
Brady. I
guys,
appreciate
make
it.
it a great, tremendous day. This is it's dial day. Let's get to work. Let's go protect some families. Take the tips you learned from Candi. I got a whole page of notes, and I'm buying some life insurance. So appreciate you all. Grateful for you all. Let's make it a great day, great week, and more to come. Bye for now.